about to die, Paradropping edition. In this video, I'm going to teach you scuds the fundamentals of paradropping, so you don't end up falling from the sky like a bird without wings, or lost in the DZ looking for your sergeant. Now, before I teach you how to fall with grace, you need to get your gear squared away. Go ahead and open up your Ace Arsenal box and pull out your loadout. Make sure you double check your gear so you have everything, otherwise you look like this guy in a DC who can't find his damn grenade. After you're done, go ahead and close out of the box, and you need to place your backpack on your chest in order to equip your parachute. To do this, you need a self-ace interact using Control Windows key, hover over equipment, and put backpack on the chest. You know you've done this right if you open up your inventory and see that your rucksack or long-range radio is missing. Once you're done, go back to the Ace Arsenal box and find your parachute in the backpack setting. Once your parachute and your rucksack are squared away, go ahead and head to the staging area to get your briefing by your pilot behind the tail end of whatever airframe you're flying in. Now, before you get into your airframe, there's a couple things you're going to want to know. The first thing you're going to want to know is where's your drop zone at. Your pilot or TACP will give you a briefing on what heading they plan on approaching the drop zone, whether that be from the south, east, north, or west. You'll get a kilometer's worth of time to drop it to the drop zone, which is plenty for you to eject and pull your parachute. It's important to note that if you go too far or wait too long past your drop zone, you might end up in enemy territory. And if you do it too soon, you'll end up lost and alone, so make sure you're paying attention to the call out of when it's time for you to jump. The other thing you're going to want to remember is which side of the bird you're sitting on. To know which side you're sitting on, stand underneath the tail end and look toward the nose. The right wing would be the right side of the bird, and the left wing would be the left side. It's important to also remember that some airframes have benches in the central side of the airframe. If you're on the central side of the airframe sitting, whatever wing you're facing, that is the side you're on. To get into your bird, Ace Interact, go to Get In, and choose a seat. Don't memorize the numbers because the numbers jump and each number would be completely different to which side you're sitting on. While sitting in the airframe, this is an important time to find your orientation of which side you're on. You can look to the back end and look for the ramp and know that that is the tail end, so that means this will be the front end. I'm facing the left wing right now, so that means I'm on the left side. If I go to passenger seat 15, now I'm on the right side. Now that you're in your airframe and it's up in the air, there's no point of return. Now you're jumping whether you like it or not. A couple things you need to know before you jump is how to eject. In order to eject by default, you double tap V. If you're unsure of what your keybind is, press escape, go to options and controls, and underneath common, scroll all the way down till you see eject. Whatever keybind's next to it is whatever you'll be using. When you eject from the airframe to pull your parachute, you need to use scroll wheel and until you see where it says open parachute. Click it and you will deploy your canopy. It's important to remember while in the back of the bird to be as quiet as you can so you can hear the call outs from your pilot on when it's time to jump. You'll be given two different warnings before your jump, your 30-second warning and your standby warning. Your 30-second warning is the pilot's way of telling you they're on their final approach to the drop zone. Your standby warning is usually initiated by the opening of the jump doors or the jump ramp. Before you jump, he'll be giving you the green light and jump, jump, jump call out. Once you eject, make sure you use that scroll wheel like we talked about and deploy your canopy. When you deploy your canopy, make sure you look straight up so you can see to make sure you have a good opening of your canopy. To steer, you can use your mouse going left and right, or you can use A and D. To descend faster, hold W, and you will start going into a faster descent. To slow yourself down or go backwards, press S. While falling, you need to orient yourself with whatever man-made or ground object you can to know exactly where you're at while looking at the map. Look for man-made objects like antennas, airfields, large mountains, or hills things like that in order to orient yourself and know exactly which way you're going and where you're about to land. While falling, make sure you're not falling too fast before you hit the ground. Make sure you slow yourself down by using S. Make sure not to land on any buildings or giant rocks like these or trees. The game sometimes registers you on the ground if you hit a tree or a giant rock or building when in reality you're actually 70 meters up in the air. And if that happens, you're going to fall to your death or break both your legs. So make sure you're finding a nice opening soft spot before you hit the ground. You'll have plenty of time if you do this right. In order to know how high you are, don't look straight at the ground. That's the worst way to tell how high you exactly are. The best way to do it is look at the horizon. As you approach your ground, make sure you press S to slow yourself down, otherwise, you're going to break your bones. Once both boots are on the ground, you want to pull your weapon up and secure your area. Make sure no weapons are within the vicinity. After you secured the area, go ahead and take your parachute off your back and put your rucksack back on your back. In order to do this, open up your inventory, drag and drop your parachute, or right click it till it's on the ground. After that, go to your Self Ace Interact, go to Equipment, put Rucksack on back. You know you've done this right if you can see your rucksack and the parachute on the ground, or if you're capable of sprinting to wherever your AA or rally point is with your platoon. Congratulations, you just passed your successful exam of proper paradropping and how not to die.